I don't know why I'm so red right here. I think I got bit by something. Hi guys, it's Misty from the Book Rat, and today I have a quick first impressions for you, along with a short little teaser excerpt of Borrowed by Lucia DiStefano. Lucia DiStefano? I don't know. Can you see that at all? There you go. The full synopsis as well as links to this book will be in the description in case you want to find out more or pick a copy up for yourself, but basically it is told in alternating perspectives, and it is about a girl who had a heart transplant and now things are changing. She's changing and she's kind of confused by that. I don't know that I'm really going to say much about the other perspective, but anyway, general disclaimer, my final thoughts on the book were I to finish it might not be anything like my first impressions, but I feel like a lot of us, when we're browsing for books and haven't, had it recommended to us or shown up on our Goodreads over and over and over, that is kind of what we do. You pick up a book and you kind of flip through, you read the synopsis, you read a little bit of the style, and you're like, is this the book for me or isn't it the book for me? And you proceed accordingly. So that is what we are going to do today. I'm going to start off with a little excerpt to give you a taste of the style. So, here is Borrowed by Lucia DiStefano. We're going to ignore the fact that my Kindle is currently plugged in while I'm reading this because you know how I do. Never charged. Never. So this is right from the beginning, from the first perspective, the perspective of the girl who has had the heart transplant. Here we go. I'm going to be like blue. Last night I reached into the oven to slide out a lemon cake I'd put in an hour earlier, but the cake had disappeared. Instead, the aluminum pan held a human heart, still beating. I pressed a palm against my sternum, shifted it left and up. No echoey thwump, no reassuringly steady rhythm, just silent bone. And somewhere outside of me, a robo-voice reciting in an endless loop. The human heart beats approximately 72 times per minute. The human heart beats approximately 72 times per minute. The human heart beats approximately 72 times per minute. I palpated my chest again. No heartbeat. Then no rise and fall, as if my lungs had been scooped out too. The only thing alive was the cake-panned heart sitting in blood and closed like a fist. The human heart beats I had to get it back inside my chest while it was still alive. Without it, I was nothing but the husk of a girl with memories of a sick past and with no hope of a future. I watched it shudder. I watched its beats slow. The human heart beats. No, I sputtered, the word as hollow as me. It's mine. I grabbed the cake pan with both hands, blood sloshing over the rim. The scorching hot metal singed my palms. I screamed and dropped it. The human heart. I jolted up in bed, drenched in sweat, my fingers digging into the mattress, the ghost scents of butter and citrus in my own burning flesh crowding my head. A dream is just a dream, right? Not when the heart you carry isn't really yours. So there you go. That was a little taste of the style and the beginning of Borrowed. I think it's always good to share right from the beginning because that will tell you whether it's going to grip you, whether it's going to pull you in. I'm a big believer in firsts and in first impressions, hence this entire video series. So now on to my thoughts. And the short answer is, yeah, I think I definitely want to continue with this. I am intrigued by the concept. It's not like it's something that hasn't been done before. The whole transplant leading to, a personality shift, that's definitely been done. But even the kind of literal, like, it's not my body part and whoever's body part it was is taking over, that has also been done. So I mean, it's not like it's a completely original concept, but I think it's carried off really well from what I've read so far. Again, I can't say where this is going or, whether things are in her head or whether she really is changing. That I can't speak to at all. But from the way it's kind of playing out so far, I think that it feels, if not the most fresh, it feels really well done. DiStefano has a really good handle on the world. I felt like I was there. I felt like I was in this town, I was in this girl's, or these girls' houses, and it felt familiar, and it felt like it was fleshed out enough, like she really has a solid picture in her head, and I always really appreciate that when I can be transported, even if it is just something contemporary and it's just another, small town or whatever, feeling like it really is being built around you and that you were there for the time being. is often critical, I think, to the enjoyment of a book and the sort of immersion in one. I'm not entirely sold on how the two perspectives sound as far as sounding different enough from each other. The things that they're talking about, the experiences that they're relating and living, those are definitely different enough that you won't have any trouble telling them apart. But as far as their actual narration style and the way they kind of present themselves, though I would say they definitely are different enough to tell them apart if you had to. I don't know that it's one of those things where if I just started reading one of their chapters without looking at the heading, it might take me a little while to determine whose chapter I was in, whose perspective I was in, if not for the external details. And I want to have difference in tone and in presentation style, in syntax, and something that's going to distinguish who is speaking, who is thinking, who is living through this, without being like, okay, well, this person is living in this house and hanging out with these people, so it must be person A, and this person is going through this, so it must be person B. I want it to stand on its own. I'm still early enough in the book that maybe it's going to get there, and I am also not to the point where things are really intertwining and linking, and I want to see how they play out and how they rely on each other, how they change each other if they do. Again, this is just a really early impressions as far as voice is concerned. I like both voices, but I do wish they were a little more distinct. So far, from what I've read, I really enjoyed it. I felt like it flowed. I was kind of tearing through it, and I would look down and be like, oh, I'm way further than I thought I was, and that's always a good sign. And I think it's gripping enough. I think it's interesting enough, and I'm curious to see how much more interesting it becomes as things progress and as they start to kind of climax. So for me, it's a definite will keep on the shelves, will keep in my phone for my night reading. I fully intend to keep going, and would recommend to you, if you think that the synopsis sounds interesting or you liked the little excerpt that I shared. So far, I don't see any real missteps. So that is my first impressions of Borrowed. A thumbs up from me. I'm curious to see where it goes, and if you have read it or want to, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you'd like to see more first impressions of any books that have been added to my shelves recently that are coming out later this year or early next year, definitely let me know, because I want to do more. But that's all for now. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, happy reading!